We're going to hop right into questions. We'll begin with Jason Kersey of The Athletic and then go to Eric Bailey. Jason?
Yeah. Hey, Nick. Thanks for your time. Last year in the lead up to the season, we heard a lot about takeaways and how much you'd emphasize those in practice. And then they didn't really come during the season as much as you'd expected. Have you seen things in practice that lead you to believe that will be for this year?
Yes, sir. Coach Grinch is still honest, about it. He still reminds us that we didn't meet our mark and, we failed, all together collectively as a defense. So, we're not going to give up. We're just going to keep, practicing the things that we do and, just trying to create those turnovers and then, just get them in the game as well. So.
Thanks.
Okay, let's go to Eric Bailey with the Tulsa World and then Joe Bettner.
Nick, this has really been an unorthodox season, and I was just wondering, usually by September, you'd have a really good feel for your position coach with Coach Kane. What's it been like building that relationship with a new coach through COVID and through, just getting really – the only work you got was fall camp?
It's been really good. Coach Kane since day one, all the guys in the group, I feel like we can say, we click with him, he can relate to us as players. And, I feel like, stuff like just off the field besides football, we can also talk about as well. So, I feel like Coach Kane's been a great fit, since, coming here.
Thanks, Nick.
Hey, Joe Bettner with the Norman Transcript and then John Hoover.
Hey, Nick, I'm just curious, kind of guys end of the season last year, obviously the Peach Bowl didn't go your way, but I'm curious, what you take away from those lessons as you guys kind of built on your success toward the end of the season, how you maybe hope to carry that momentum into this year.
Yeah, obviously it was very disappointing that last game, but, we can't, let it affect us this year. It's a whole new year, a lot of new players on defense. So, we're looking to, have a good start this year and, just build to, being one of the best defenses in the nation.
Okay, John Hoover with SI Sooners and then James Hale.
Hey, Nick, I know it probably feels like old news to you at this point in your preparation for the season, but not having been there and not having ever seen or heard accounts of what you guys are doing, can you kind of maybe recap the off season for us, what it's been like to train on your own and to train with strangers maybe, or you're working out with, carrying bricks or whatever it was you did that was maybe different than what you've ever done before?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people, across the board, had to, adjust to what they do. Me personally, I didn't have that many gyms open when I was down. So, I either had to, go out with my uncle and train, with him and, lift like weights with my dad in my, garage and stuff like that. So, it was very, we had to be very, change a lot of stuff up, but, we did what we could.
Thanks.
Okay, I think James Hale had to get back to his radio show, so we will go to Brandon Drum with OU Insider and then Jenny Carlson.
Hey, can you kind of talk about your growth from last year to now? You were a first-year starter, obviously, as a redshirt freshman, and now having all that experience. Can you kind of talk about your growth and the maturation that you think that, I guess, from year one to year two?
Yeah, I feel like I've grown in a lot of ways, along with my group as well. I feel like, just seeing everybody, from last year to this year, I feel like Coach Kane has done a great job at, developing everybody. And, we can see it on the practice field, this rush group, plus the ends, we're getting more production on the field. So, it's just nice to see, that everybody's, getting better and, developing.
Okay, Jenny Carlson with the Oklahoman and then Caleb McCory.
Hey, Nick, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Hey, in talking to different coaches along the way, they've talked about sort of almost cross-training you guys for maybe having to step in and play a slightly different position if COVID were to have an impact on the roster and that sort of thing. I'm curious from the linebacker position, like what does that look like for you guys? How has that bled into your preparations?
We've really just been doing, the same thing that we've always done. Everybody's, pretty sure, like, we know the defense, everybody knows what they're doing, especially in the front seven. So, the rush group is confident, that, if they were able to switch positions, they could. But, mostly everybody's just focusing on their job and, knowing what to do.
Is that a situation where if you did have to maybe slide into a spot, it would be most likely to be a defensive end type of spot for a linebacker? Or do you have a sense of that even?
No sense, but, I'll do whatever the team asks me to do. I'm ready. And, along with every other person on the defense is ready as well. So we'll all be prepared just in case it does happen.
Nik Bonitto, quarterback, right? Thanks.
No problem.
Okay, let's go to Caleb McCory with the OU Daily, and then back to Jason Kersey.
Nick, right after the march on Friday, Creed Humphrey tweeted that the entire team was registered to vote. Is that something that you all did together, and what drew you guys to do that?
Yeah, Coach Riley, actually set it up, to where he didn't really force it, but as players, if we have the right to do that, so if we wanted to, they gave us, a couple options on what to do. But, it was just really a team thing. Everybody wanted to do it. So, I was proud to see everybody step up and, make that decision as a team to come together and do stuff like that. So,
when did that meeting happen?
Right after the march.
Thanks.
Back then, Jason Kersey with The Athletic, and then Ryan Aber.
Yeah, Nick, in terms of linebacker depth overall, losing Caleb and losing Kenneth after last year and now losing Caleb to his injury, I'm just wondering if you can talk about how the depth looks at linebacker and what the reaction you had when Caleb's injury happened. I'm sure that was difficult for you guys.
Yeah, it was very difficult. A lot of people don't know, but, Caleb hosted me, coming on my visit here. So that was really the first guy I've ever met on this team. Ever since then, we've been close. And, it hurt me, just to see him going down last year. But then, obviously it happened again. It really hurt me. But he's in good spirits. And, everybody's, just around him, making sure he's feeling good. But as far as the depth goes as linebacker, I'm very confident in everybody, especially since, now, everybody's getting reps. So, everybody's, just trying to do their job. Everybody's trying to make plays. And, I'm very confident in anybody that steps out there on the field.
Okay, Ryan Aber with the Oklahoman, and then John Hoover.
Yeah, Nick, sort of going back to what Caleb asked you about a couple questions ago about the voting and that registration. How has the experience of the last few months, especially these last couple weeks, sort of affected your outlook? What have those conversations been like internally with the football program as we see all these things happening around the country?
Yeah, just being on this team, a lot of guys that are, more of the leaders on this team, they've, I want to say kind of like, made me more aware of, how voting can impact our society and more well-educated, on this situation. And, just having the leaders on this team helped me understand that, and, along with other guys that probably were in the same boat as me, just, give me a better understanding of why, voting is important and, just how it can change our society.
Appreciate it, Nick.
Okay, back to John Hoover with SI Sooners, and then Brandon Drum.
So, Nick, a few minutes ago, I asked about differences for you in your off-season training. What about since you've been on campus? Can you maybe illustrate for us some of the changes that have taken place, whether it's meeting in small groups or staying out of bigger, larger crowds on campus in general, thinned out classroom? What stands out to you about your time so far back on campus and how things have changed?
Yeah, just so far, classroom-wise, I'm really proud of what OU is doing. It's a lot of social distancing. It's required that everyone wears a mask. Just really little stuff, just to try and keep us safe. I feel, really safe going into these classes, knowing they're taking the proper procedures to make sure that we're safe and, we don't get COVID. So, I really like what they're doing.
And then the football aspect of it, same thing. I'm guessing all the linebackers aren't meeting at the same time. I'm pretty sure the quarterbacks don't all get in the same room together. You know what I mean? Keeping guys separated. How's that going? What's that look like? Illustrate that for us.
Well, I don't know about everybody else's room, but I know our room, it's kind of big. So, we'll just have everybody, separated from each other to where we can see. And, we have to have our mask on, of course, but, just really social distancing and just wearing your mask, and hopefully it will be good from there.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, unless James Hale pops back in, our last question will be Brandon Drum with OU Insider.
Hey, Nick, I just asked you about your growth, but can you kind of talk about some of the young guys and how they've stepped up this year at your position, whether it's a new guy like Brendan Walker or anybody like that?
Yeah, I like Brendan Walker. You know, I know every time he steps in the field, he's going to give me 100%, and, you know, he's going to do his job. You know, just working on his technique and just, you know, not just playing to, you know, do your job, but making the play through it. But, you know, I'm really impressed with him. You know, I feel like he's going to be a big part of our team this year. And Reggie Grimes has also, you know, been doing well. So.
Okay, I don't think James is back. James, are you back? I'm sorry, I'm trying to see here. James, you wanted a question? James Hale, gotta unmute yourself.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. Running back and forth between the show. You know, Nick, this group, you get John Michael Terry back. This group, you know, has been a productive group. You guys were young, but how much did this year help? Especially when you lost spring and things. How much better of a group will this be this year? Because a lot of guys just coming back for the second time.
I feel like we have a really good group. You know, we have, you know, more experience than we had last year. You know, John, I know, you know, he's been ready. He's ready to go. You know, we're both, you know, helping each other. We're locked into the playbook. And, you know, we're also helping the younger guys like Brendan, you know, like other guys, you know, that are in the rush position. So Joseph Wette. So, you know, we're just trying to get those guys along so, you know, we can be ready for the season. And I feel like we got a really good group here.